Welcome in then to the latest edition of Extra Time. We're recording this on 6:30 our time, so the transfer window has been shut for, 37 minutes now. And we still don't know what Antoine Griezmann is doing. We'll tell you when we hear, if we hear. But we'll go through this. Gab, wouldn't have other clubs been more happy if PSG had accepted the 200 million euros for Mbappe, considering the fact that it's most likely that it'll go there for free anyway, and Real enter the summer 2022 with 200 million euros in the bank to spend on top players?
Yeah, 200 million that they can to spend on free agents, but as far as the other clubs are concerned, then if they had paid for Mbappe, then it would have been Paris Saint-Germain with those 200 million pounds to go and spend on free agents, like say Paul Pogba, for example. Or I'm not quite sure. You know, it's not like the money gets burned and doesn't get spent. I mean, Paris Saint-Germain could have spent that money on free agents just as much as anybody else.
90 seconds to go, apparently, Shaq.
What?
Until the Griezmann extension stops.
Griezmann has a sledgehammer right now, breaking on every door he can find.
You know what they've done? He'll be lying in his bed and he'll have set up one of those little things that just trigger everything with a big sledgehammer at the top.
Right. What are you talking about?
Well, do you know what you call, the films?
Yes, yeah.
And everything triggers another
like Wallace
reaction.
and Gromit, things like that.
Yeah, things that
The
trigger something
Goonies.
else. Yeah.
But why would he want a sledgehammer to fall on his head?
I'll just finish it all. I'm not staying here.
Wow.
I'm staying in Barcelona.
Okay.
The things that go through my head now.
I know, Steve, it's incredible. And they're the things that you let us hear. Imagine what's going on with the stuff that you don't let us hear.
Things that you say, things like, no,
I told you.
I shouldn't say that. Imagine the things where you go, I shouldn't say that.
I know. God. Hey, boy, did you see Frank topless? You don't have Instagram, do you?
Oh, no, thanks.
Oh. Frank. Whoa, look at that. Insta story, Frank, half naked, tensing, showing the six-pack.
Oh.
We can't show it, apparently.
Well,
because it is so R-rated.
Because it's too early. It's too early in the day. We have to wait until after 9 o'clock at night.
And Frank, you were trying to inspire people to go to the gym like you. Am I right?
Yes, you're completely right, and it's also because my book is coming out, so I say, you have to step up, guys. September, school is about to start again, so you have to be fit, you have to go back to work, after holidays. So come on, guys, And I try to encourage people to move a little bit, like you, lazy people, like Dan Thomas. Don't want to go to the gym.
Stevie, does this encourage you to go to the gym? Seeing Frank half naked?
You just wait till you see it.
No, it's not happening.
You build one of those things that triggers something all along, and there'll be a sledgehammer right there. That's what'll happen.
Oh, God.
I tell you, Dan, it was really not dedicated to Stevie.
Oh, really? Sure. No? Gab, why are Italian teams so willing to give their top players to rival Italian teams? From Cafu to Milan, Nedved to Juve, Pjanic, Benatia, Dzeko and others. It doesn't make sense in another league.
Would you want a little Saul update first?
Yeah, go on, Gab.
Saul, Griezmann.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it's being reported in Spain that all the paperwork has been submitted and it is currently being revised by La Liga. Now, not official yet. El Chiringuito reporting this, so make of that what you will. But credit where credit's due. The paperwork is in according to them, and it is being revised. Not official yet because, hey, look, it's Barcelona's paperwork, right? So it might take some time.
Imagine the dramatic music they'd have been using.
To answer your question, though, I think they're different cases because certainly I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Cafu was a free transfer. Pjanic had a release clause. Edin Dzeko had a year left on his contract and wasn't going to renew, and already had a deal and made a lot of money, and Roma were happy for him to go, and he had a deal in place with Inter. And so I think those are all different situations. I think in the end, certainly in recent years, you've had a situation where Juventus have spent a lot more on wages than anybody else. And so it's very difficult for clubs to compete, because remember, we had situations like that of Chiesa or indeed Locatelli, where their contracts were going to come to an end. The player said, no, I want to go to Juve. And he said, hey, look, how about we sell you abroad? Somebody can offer more money. And he's like, I want to go to Juve. And when that happens, you don't want to lose a player on a free.
It would have been.
Hello.
It would have been better if they'd said German teams.
Right. Well, yes.
Because that's the craziest of them all. Because it's not only is it teams in the same league, but it's teams that are actually battling to win the competition, who end up giving you all the players.
Red Bull Bayern now, isn't it?
It used to be Dortmund, now it's Leipzig.
Bayern does that to everybody.
Did Barcelona have the worst transfer season of all time, Jules?
Nope.
Oh. I mean, if you lose Messi to start with, I think even if you do other business alongside it or after it or around it, you've lost. I think you've lost. Losing Messi, you've lost the transfer window of all clubs together, maybe of all time too. On top of that, they did some good things. I mean, getting £30 million for Emerson Royal is like, wow, okay, well done. If you can get rid of Griezmann, as we said, and that could be important for them financially, even if it's crazy to give him to gift him even to Atleti the way they did. So, but yes, I'm sorry, losing Messi, you lose the transfer window.
Sticking with Barcelona, Gab, can they avoid an AC Milan destiny and bounce back in 2 to 3 years' time with proper financial management?
Well, they're very different situations. I mean, AC Milan were bought by Elliott Management, an investment fund. They're businessmen. Money's not a problem for them. Financial fair play was a problem for them, and they decided to respect it, and they invested and they turned it around. Barcelona, I think, is a different animal, because all they can do, if they want to raise money, they either have to generate it themselves or they have to borrow it. And we saw that borrowing the money got them into a lot of trouble. So, I think in some ways it's trickier, because obviously you got to generate the money yourself. But on the other hand, you're in a good place because the brand is so strong, because they will inevitably bounce back after, when the Barcelona Museum reopens, when the Camp Nou reopens fully. And of course, they have La Masia, which, still generates players for them, which they can then either put in the first team or possibly sell and get some money back. So they're very different situations, in my opinion. But yeah, of course, Barcelona will be back. Barcelona are too big to fail. They're not going to become insolvent. This is an Enron we're talking about. I think there is a way back for Barcelona, no question about it.
Question for Jules. How would you rate the transfer of Camavinga to Real Madrid? We kind of did this on the show, didn't we, Jules? Who would you compare him to for people maybe who haven't seen him play?
Oh, that's a good one.
Jules always tells me it's a good question when he wants time to think.
He's done that,
He does, Jules always gives it a, and that's a really good question.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's just that for once.
It's called a stalling tactic.
Or maybe he's just genuinely surprised that you asked a good question.
Exactly. I'm waiting, and then it's a good question. I go, oh, okay, this is a good question. I feel like for your own confidence as well, I need to tell you that it's a good question.
Well, it's not even my question, is it? It's whoever
this one is not yours.
Well done.
Totally off guard with a good question.
You could just read that. You read that question very well, Dan.
You read it really well, and whoever sent it was a good one. So I rate the transfer highly because he was really coveted by a lot of clubs, including PSG. So in a way, Real Madrid got one, onto PSG after the Mbappe deal that didn't happen. In terms of who plays like, it's hard to tell because he's such a complete player. I guess someone like Seedorf, who obviously played for Real Madrid as well, in the sense that there's nothing he cannot do. Rijkaard was slightly still more defensive, I think.
Wow.
And Rijkaard was really a centre-back who played in midfield. Whereas Camavinga is gifted technically, like Seedorf was. Really, I can't stress it enough that with the ball, he's so good. And then he's got all the rest around. So I'll probably say that, but Real Madrid fans will see there's something special there. But again, give him a bit of time. He's only 18 years old.
Frank, Jules said he's nothing like Rijkaard. You idiot. Oh, a bit harsh.
Yeah, but Jules wasn't born when Rijkaard played, at his best. That's why he doesn't know him. That's why he's talking nonsense. I saw Rijkaard playing in the 80s, and I tell you, the guy was going forward like with Ruud Gullit. That was something at Milan or with the national team. It's why I compare, because Camavinga is also a tall guy. I think he's going to get stronger. And he can carry the ball forward for sure. And that's the first name who came up. Of course, there is some others. I think Seedorf was more technical. He was more number 10 than Camavinga is.
Stevie, can you give me some dramatic music or dramatic noise?
Dun dun dun.
Gab, what's the Griezmann latest?
Griezmann rated says that the deal is not done. But it is alive, and again, I'll be straight up about this because I've sent some messages, but and Chiringuito seem to be doing this sort of second after second. So they're saying that they've been in touch with Griezmann's people, and they think everything is going to be okay. Take that for what it is. Still no official confirmation yet, but they seem confident.
How would you sum that up musically, Stevie?
What?
Yeah, I agree with that one. It's quarter to 1 in the morning. We're not going to spend the all night long, to wait to see if Griezmann is signing for Atletico Madrid or not. Who cares? There is some other people in a worse condition. Okay. Send the music and we all go to bed.
Wow.
Okay, bye bye.
Craig Burley, everyone. Thank you very much. We've got so many more questions, Frank.
Okay, whatever.
Gab, Ronaldo's Juventus legacy is going to be losing the top scorer to Quagliarella and Ciro Immobile, getting knocked out in the Champions League by Ajax, Lyon and Porto, scoring 30 penalties, losing a 9-year Scudetto dynasty to Inter, and then forcing Juventus to sell him. Wow.
That's all Ronaldo's doing?
Wow. That's from honest Ronaldo fan.
That guy really doesn't like Ronaldo. Look, I've said this many times. That is a really, really harsh judgment. I think with hindsight, if they go back, they don't do it again. I don't think it's because of Cristiano, but it's because if you have Cristiano, you need to use him a certain way. And incidentally, Cristiano can't carry an entire team on his own. Nobody can. Messi can't do it either. This isn't basketball where Wilt Chamberlain scores 100 points. I know I'm really dating myself. That was before I was even born. So I'm sure you come up with a better analogy. But Juventus made a number of big mistakes. And in some of those games where the Champions League games that you mentioned, Cristiano did play badly. Certainly against Porto, when they got knocked out last year, that was the case. But in other situations, they wouldn't even have been there. And I'm thinking of like the Atletico game if Cristiano hadn't come up big in those games. So I think it was a collective failure. But I think Cristiano, for his part as an individual, did his part. And by the way, the stuff about him waiting until the end to decide he wants to leave and thereby screwing things up for the club, that's a false narrative as well. He made it very clear back in June, just that right now it suits everybody from Manchester United with Solskjaer pretending that he didn't know that Cristiano was available to Juventus saying, oh look, he left us in the lurch. We didn't know he wanted to leave. No, they maybe didn't know he had a buyer, but they did know that he wanted to leave. He's always been pretty straight about what he wanted to do, and he's been like that throughout his career.
Dan, have you ever won an argument with Craig? I think if I ever won an argument, there's no way he would admit that I won that
Not a chance.
said argument. I think that's where we're at. Frank, what's the latest on Griezmann?
Oh, can't you stop asking?
Oh God, I read something about Griezmann. Do you know that? I know a journalist living in Madrid, Fred Hermel, a French guy working very close to Real Madrid. and he said that, in fact, Griezmann has been keeping on calling Koke for weeks to Atletico player to say, please, bring me back, make sure I call Simeone and make sure that he brings me back to Atletico. But so far, we have no news. You know, I'm getting stressed, you know, because I don't know if I'm going to go to bed tonight. Griezmann, what's going on for Griezmann, guys, you know?
Oh, dear.
Oh, my God.
Just read,
I'm sweating.
Read your book, Frank. That'll put you to sleep quickly.
You're such a bad person. You're such a bad person.
That is it.
And if that doesn't work,
yeah,
you get a wee contraption. Right, and then you can
swing dear me. You don't get this at Sky transfer deadline.
So what do we do? So, what do we do? What do we do?
What do we
do?
Go to Gab on Griezmann.
Oh, no.
Do the music. Do the music, Steve.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun.
Okay, so Gianluca Di Marzio and others reporting that that La Liga only received Antoine Griezmann's contract at 11:58 local time, which is 2 minutes before the transfer deadline. Evidently took time for the paperwork and everything, but as of right now, it looks like this deal is done.
Yeah.
So Saul to Chelsea, Griezmann, which we know is done. Griezmann, Atletico Madrid, and the one we're waiting for, Luke de Jong to Seville.
We can go to bed. We can go to bed. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.